Hello, this is Mark Holmes, Editorial Director of Via Satellite, and we're back for one of our Thursday morning conversations. And I'm delighted to have with me Mauricio Segovia, who is the CEO of AXESS Networks. And Mauricio, I will start by firstly offering congratulations for being nominated for Via Satellite's Satellite Executive of the Year. So on behalf of the editorial team, congratulations on your nomination.
Hi, Mark. How are you? Thank you for having me, and thank you very much for the nomination of that prestigious award. Clearly through the years, a bunch of key executives of our industry have been nominated and earned that reward, and I'm excited to be part of that group now.
Excellent. Well, we always start these conversations, Mauricio, by talking about life under lockdown, and it's been almost a year now, which is crazy. So how has life been under lockdown for you?
It's been, I would say it's been okay. Considering everything that is been happening, it's been okay here. Here in Spain, we had a severe lockdown, in what we call the first wave, but we've had a couple of other waves now, the second and the third, and the lockdowns in those two have been less severe, in the sense that you're able to go out. I've been coming to the office. Now I can play golf, which is a big thing for me. So they've been mild lockdowns, and with those mild lockdowns, they managed to control the numbers. So it hasn't been that bad. Still, I mean, it's different for all of us. No traveling. No, my kids, although they've been going to school, they've been in and out of school with going into lockdowns themselves, depending if somebody in the classroom gets COVID and all of that. But in general, I would say that we've been doing well.
Excellent. How many kids do you have?
I actually have two girls.
Okay. What ages are they?
They are 13 and 15. So they are both right in the middle, in the thick of things. The younger one starting, the other one right in the middle of it.
I think you were more sensible than I did, because I've got two girls myself, one who's 13 and one who's 4. So I've got a bit of a bigger age gap between my two. But it's all good. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Yeah, and you're surrounded by women.
Definitely am. And so have you been taking? We always ask people about sort of what they've been watching in terms of movies, dramas. If you've had kids, what you've been watching on Disney Plus, things like that. So what have you and the family been enjoying during lockdown?
I mean, in terms of watching, we are big series watchers. We either watch movies or series, and for some reason this year there hasn't been a lot of movies. I think it's related to COVID, but there hasn't been a lot of movies coming out, so we've watched a lot more series. We've watched a bunch of them. With the kids, we watched the Mandalorian series, which was pretty cool. Nice and easy and well done. But we've watched The Crown, Queen's Gambit, Lupin is another one that we watch with the kids. There's a streaming outfit that is not that common. It's called Filming. I don't know if you know about it. Have you heard of it? And they show a bunch of other series, not as mainstream. A lot of European ones, and European, like Nordic European ones and stuff. So we've been watching there. There's one there called Brassic. It's actually English. It's English dark English humor. Pretty cool. But we watch a bunch of them. And a bunch of good ones. I mean, it's good that the production of series has continued through all this year, and it's allowed us to watch stuff.
Did you say you'd been watching Lupin? Was that one you mentioned?
Yeah. We watched Lupin. Yeah, that's another one that we watch as a family.
We really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it's cool.
I thought that was really, really good. I mean, I kind of love everything that's sort of set in Paris anyway, but that was I really enjoyed that one.
It seems like we'll get a second half of that first season, no? So
yeah. So it was only 5 episodes. So yeah, I was definitely hungry for a few more. So I'm looking forward to the second part of it. Are you a big music fan? Are you?
Sure. Yeah, I like music. and I listen. I guess I listen to all types of different music. I like rock, pop, reggaeton. Obviously, being from Colombia, salsa, classical music. So yeah, I'm a music listener now with the kids. I know in the case of my kids, they listen to music basically 24 hours a day. All the time they're listening to music. So it's pretty cool because you get to listen to music that you would never hear if it wasn't because of them. So that's been interesting as well. There's always music on in my house, either from both of them, so you cannot understand what they're listening to, or when they're sharing one song or something. So that's been interesting as well.
So who have your kids introduced you to that you perhaps hadn't heard before?
There's a big one which they both like very much. He's actually an English guy called Harry Styles.
Oh yeah.
So they're both big fans. The older one was a big fan before the younger one, but now both of them are really big fans, and everything that happens with Harry Styles in general, they know they're aware of it. So if there's pictures coming out of Harry Styles, the whole house will be aware there's pictures coming out of of him somewhere doing something. So that's a singer that I never heard about before, until this year, and I've been listening to him a lot because we hear that a lot in the house, and he's good. I think he's a good singer.
Had you heard of One Direction, the band? He was in Direction.
He's doing a lot better music than One Direction music for sure now.
Yeah, it's very cool. Let's talk a little bit about the work stuff, because I mean, that was one of the biggest pieces of, I think, consolidation we've seen over the last few years, and I imagine like managing a global company during a pandemic is never easy, but particularly when it's something relatively new as well. I mean, what has the challenge been like for you to sort of manage the company over the last year? What has sort of changed, and what have you learned maybe over the last year from as you continue to like build AXESS's growth strategy?
Yeah, challenging. I mean, the challenging part is 6 months after this started, the pandemic started, so traveling stopped and all of that stopped. And I had very good knowledge clearly of the America side of the business, of our business, even that I was there since the beginning, and I was getting to know the German side of the business, which is the side of the business that provides services in Africa and the Middle East, and so it was hard that process got stopped in the middle, in the sense that I would have liked to have the opportunity to travel more in the region, travel more to customers, and understand more how the markets work and all of that. So maybe that's the biggest challenge, is getting enough information of the markets, the type of customers that we have, and all of that virtually. Just because we don't have the opportunity to go down there, visit customers, sit with them, and makes it harder. The other big challenge, clearly what we wanted to do and what we still want to do is we want to continue to join forces with other companies, maybe do some more acquisitions, and growing organically the company. And that definitely is really hard to do virtually. That needs a lot of face-to-face, real life communications, and that's not happening. So that has been slowed down during this year. There are some opportunities for us out there, but clearly that hasn't moved along as quickly as we would have liked. What have I learned? Communication. Communication is key. You can never over communicate, and it's important to find ways to communicate when you're unable to be on the operations. I'm in Barcelona, and the main operations are in Germany and Colombia, and I haven't been there for a whole year in either one of them. So it's important to find other ways of communicating to get the messages across and keep everybody involved.
Let's talk a little bit about consolidation, because it was interesting when the creation of AXESS was announced. I actually thought this was one of the most interesting news stories I'd read in a while, because obviously there's one company that was very well known in Latin America and one that was very well known in Europe, and you don't see many examples of that type of bringing together of those sort of two types of companies. So I'm sort of very curious from like a cultural standpoint, what has it been like to sort of basically blend the two company cultures into like one new company culture?
It's been an interesting process. There's clearly cultural differences, but I think that up to this point it has worked very well because they complement each other. So in Latin America, you tend to have some information, dive into it, begin acting, and then correcting as you move along. And sometimes that causes you trouble because you didn't have enough information to start with. In Europe and with our German team, the team is a lot more, I would say, conservative in making the decisions. They will make sure that they have all the information necessary, and once they have all the information, feel comfortable making the first step, they will go ahead and make that first step and drive through through the process. But I think now they've been complementing each other because the Latin America team sees the good stuff that the German team does, and the other way around. And when they're working together, I think it's a good complement, and the company has been doing really well in terms of the teams and the culture and how those two are working together.
And where do you sort of see the growth opportunities now for the company? I mean, you signed some interesting deals last year, hence why you were nominated for our Satellite Executive of the Year. But obviously, the company has global aspirations. So what excites you? Where do you see sort of some interesting growth paths for AXESS going forward?
I mean, we see growth opportunities still everywhere, in the Americas, in Africa, in the Middle East. In terms of geographies, we see growth opportunities everywhere. I think we can do a lot more in the Middle East and Africa. So I expect over time to have more growth there than we do in the Americas. But we still see a lot of growth in the Americas. And in terms of verticals, the traditional verticals, clearly we've been doing very well in cellular backhaul. I expect that to continue. We've been doing very well, in the recovery of oil and gas. I expect that to continue, and we have some new ventures. We're starting to invest in different areas where we don't have a strong presence today. One of which will be maritime. So we haven't done. We do have a maritime business in both regions, but we want to pay a lot more attention and do a lot more in that vertical. We think there's an opportunity there for a lot of business, even though there's established players. We think there's a lot of business to be shared with more players, and we're going to be investing there, and we'll begin doing more there. And geographically, we're looking at expanding our geographic footprint. We're not sure if it's going to happen. We would like to have a better presence, in the other third of the world, in Asia, but it's a lot more difficult to do that because we see that it's a market that is a lot more fragmented. There isn't a lot of established players that have a complete presence in all of Asia. So it's harder for us to do. So we are still looking at ways of how we can expand to that region and hopefully have our footprint there as well.
So would you say, I mean, judging from that, maritime and Asia are the two big targets, one in terms of vertical, one in terms of region?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what might you be doing in maritime this year? I mean, do you have any specific plans that you can share with us, or is it still a little bit early?
I mean, we do have plans, but unfortunately I cannot share with them yet those plans with you. But we hopefully you will see a lot more of us in terms of what we're doing in maritime. But yeah, it's something that I cannot share the details yet.
And just I guess just a couple of final questions. I mean, we've had some What's your overall view of like the state of the satellite market now? I mean, we've seen some big LEO announcements this year, and last year there was obviously some big news stories around the likes of OneWeb, Intelsat, Speedcast, and others. I mean, all of us were, trying to navigate this COVID era as well, and still continues to. As someone that's trying to build new revenue streams, and what do you see as the sort of the current state of the industry right now? Are you sort of optimistic? Do you think it's going to be a slightly tough period ahead, or where are we as an industry?
No, I'm very bullish. I'm very optimistic. I think there's exciting times coming. No, there's tons of ideas, tons of investment and resources being put into our industry. No, and I think a lot of it will have an important impact on how we evolve over time. So no, I'm very bullish and excited about what's to come. No, there's so many new technologies, so many new opportunities that will arise from those new technologies that I think we have a very promising future.
And we always like to end on a fun question. So we're going to go back to, I'm going to ask you another music question to end the conversation. Now, I know your daughters like Harry Styles, but I want you to give us a song that Mauricio, that you like, that when you're with your when you're with your family and your daughters, and say, this is a great song. So one of your favorite songs, give us one of your favorite songs that always makes you feel good or enjoy listening to.
I think I think I have to mention one of the reggaeton songs, which probably you're not gonna know, but no, we have a couple of very famous reggaeton singers from Colombia. No, they are famous worldwide, and one of them is J Balvin, and there's a song of his that I like, and in general we like in our family, and it's called "Our People," Mi Gente, in Spanish. So I would suggest everybody that is listening to this interview to listen to this song. It's great lyrics, good rhythm, and it's a great song.
I will check it out. I must confess I haven't heard of that artist or that song, but I'm always love listening to new music, so I will definitely check it out. Well, Mauricio, it's been an absolute pleasure today to catch up with you, and it's been fun to have a conversation, and again, congratulations on behalf of the VIA Satellite team for nominating, for being nominated for Satellite Executive of the Year. It's a tremendous honor, but well deserved. It's going to be a great competition this year. You've got there's some terrific nominees, both for our Satellite Executive of the Year and our Satellite Technology of the Year. So anyone watching this, listening in, you can vote, and you can have hopefully an impact on who's going to win the award. So please get voting and make our decision incredibly difficult. That's what we want. So but also, AXESS does a great job for the industry. It's really great for me as an editor to cover companies that are showing a huge amount of ambition to make a difference in this sector. And I think it's clear to everyone that AXESS is a company with very bold ambitions for the future. So I wish you and your colleagues all the best for the year ahead. Definitely interested to see what you're going to be doing in maritime in Asia as well. Hope you and your family can stay safe, and looking forward to catching up with you in person soon. So thank you very much, Mauricio.
No, thank you very much, Mark, for having me here, and I enjoyed these conversations, and I hope you keep doing them. They are very entertaining, but thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Thank you.